It's Jason Peterson with Answers for Hope. This is take 3. I've already tried to do this hangout twice. The first time my sound wasn't working. The second one I had made a mistake and I had to delete the hangout and restart it. So this is take 3. I have Len Pettis with me from the Bible Thumping Wingnut podcast and also the Matthew 4:19 YouTube channel. And I also have Mimsy, my French bulldog, laying on the recliner back there. But what I want to talk about today is a set of circumstances that has arisen over the past couple of days. It is quite interesting, and it is a great opportunity to point out the hypocrisy of some atheists, namely Alex Botten. Before I do this, I just want to say that there are some atheists out there that I do feel try and honestly, try and deal with opposing reviews in an honest fashion. For those of you who do that, I appreciate it. But unfortunately, there are some atheists that just are not dishonest, and all they're doing is just shouting out and preaching to the choir. There are a group of atheists that are not honest, just as there are a group of Christians that are not honest either. Len would certainly testify to that. So I'm not by any means saying that all atheists are dishonest in this video. So I just wanted to make that clear. For those of you who don't know about the situation, I'm going to go ahead and state what happened over the past couple of days in summary. Then I'm going to go ahead and explain the Sye Ten Atheist channel, some of the things that led up to channels like that being made. And then after that, I'm going to talk to Len about some of the circumstances regarding the controversy. So I'm going to go ahead and explain the situation first. There's a YouTube channel called Sye Ten Atheist. It's a channel that basically is just about mocking apologists, mostly presuppositional apologists. They have mocked William Lane Craig as well. I don't know whether it's one person or multiple people. Whoever does the channel is very talented. The animations are quite good. The voiceovers too. They have a variety of comical voices. And then of course they have a script writer. Overall, as far as production goes, the channel's well done. Obviously, I don't advocate the message it sends out. I don't advocate the vulgarity in the videos. But I have whoever's behind it. I have to give them props. They, as far as the way it's produced quite well. But in a nutshell, though, Alex Botten, who's I guess you could say he's a pretty well-known atheist on YouTube. I definitely ran into a lot of people that know his name. I've been dealing with him off and on for the past couple of years, I believe. He made a video claiming that this guy, Sye Ten Atheist, or girl, who knows, is Sye Ten Atheist. So he's saying that he is Sye Ten Atheist. And I saw this. I found out about this from Tim's from the Bible Thumping Wingnut podcast. I found out from his YouTube channel. I saw that there was a video about an announcement concerning who Sye Ten Atheist is, and I don't know who he is. So I thought, well, that's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and check out this video and see who it was. And apparently, according to them, Alex Botten came out and said he was Sye Ten Atheist. And this would be a good time to ask you about this, Len. I watched Alex Botten's follow-up video that he posted today, I think, and he's not Sye Ten Atheist after all. He posted it today, right? The video that says he's not Sye Ten Atheist after all. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Len, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh.
Sorry, I was reading something.
It's okay. I did it too. Alex Botten posted his video that recanted the proclamation that he's Sye Ten Atheist. He posted that today, right?
About being Sye Ten Atheist? That happened yesterday.
Being Sye Ten Atheist. He posted that he was Sye Ten Atheist on June 16th, which was coincidentally my 28th birthday.
Yeah. The timeline is this, and he made the video claiming to be Sye Ten Atheist, and we had suspected it for a while because he has quite a connection in the art community. There's no question he's involved in it somehow, but he is not Sye Ten Atheist. We thought he was, and he totally overplayed his hand when he made his video claiming to be Sye Ten Atheist because of all the accolades he was giving Tim for how smart he was and figured it out. And so he really gave himself away. He overacted. And
he's not very good at bluffing.
So we were like, hey, let's do a hangout real quick about it. And so yeah, it's funny that people in comments are like, oh, Len is still convinced he was until Tim said he wasn't, and then he changed his mind on the spot. No, we had discussions about this. So
I've known you guys for a while, Tim, and I can tell. Len, and I can tell whenever you're being sarcastic.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of times whenever we start these hangouts, Tim, you and I start these hangouts, they, there's sarcasm involved. It's very common at the beginning of the video for us to say silly things or be sarcastic. And I could tell that you were being, whenever you said, "Oh, really?" And, that kind of thing. And I could tell that you were not surprised at all that he said that he didn't think that Alex was Sye Ten Atheist. So it was very obvious that you were being sarcastic. It's just that Alex Botten is not honest, and he will always try and default to the least charitable interpretation of anything a Christian does.
Right. Well, and not only that, here's the other thing he's dishonest about. He put out a video called Secret shortly after, where he was like whispering into the camera saying, "I'm not Sye Ten Atheist," and then another video where he was showing he was basically filming his computer screen of our hangout. Now, here's the thing. He claims that we saw that video first and then made our video, which is nonsense. Because if anybody, I think Alex is hoping people don't understand how the Google Hangout system works, that it goes live and it plays live on your channel, and then later, just, even sometimes it's moments, sometimes it's 10, 15 minutes later, it posts to your channel. And the recording posts to your channel. So he said, well, if you look at everything, you see my video posted first. Yeah, but we were actually doing the Hangout live when you made that video. So, he's just counting on the fact that people are ignorant or whatever. So, he's lying about that. And that's fine. I've come to expect nothing less from Alex. So his behavior has been pretty consistent in that fashion since the day I came across him. Yeah, absolutely. So I expect nothing less than him. So yeah, and it's interesting. There's some other ways we know that Alex isn't Sye Ten Atheist, because he just left he just overplayed his hand in a lot of ways. So, but it's very interesting that how the reason people are upset about this, that we're going to be selling shirts for $100 a piece. And people think that we're totally serious. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna make beer steins and ashtrays and so, like, people just are not super sharp in the atheist drawer. Not a lot of sharp knives in the atheist drawer.
Right. And we're of course not saying that about all atheists, but definitely the Alex Botten espouses. Yeah, I would say that they're not very sharp.
Well, all you have to do is read the comment feed of Tim's Hangout and of Alex Botten's videos. That's the atheist drawer of which I speak.
Right. Absolutely. Let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and lay out some of the things that led up to this channel being made, at least in my view. It's going to, it's just largely my observations, and people can take it or leave it. But the Sye Ten Atheist channel, as I said before, is kind of a mockery channel, like for presuppositionalists and other apologists. And years ago, Sye Ten Bruggencate, he was a factory worker. He worked in a boiler room, and it was and from what I understand, it was a pretty well-paying job. He left his job to go preach the gospel. And at some point, I guess whenever he was studying apologetics, he met Gene Cook, and Gene Cook taught Sye the presuppositional method that Sye uses. And Sye has used this method on multiple people when he's out witnessing and gets challenged, or on debate shows with atheists. And basically, you know, Sye keeps them on epistemology, or the nature of truth, the whole time. And that really gets annoying to the unbeliever. Because the unbelievers like spouting out. A lot of them like, well, you know, they like talking about science. They like using argumentum ad verbosa, which, you know, Sye's method doesn't really give them a chance to do that kind of stuff. So it's really frustrating. And Sye has become, I think, one of the most popular, or rather the most well-known apologists on the atheist internet community, at least. As far as presuppositional apologetics goes, seems like all of them have heard of Sye. Sye is kind of that guy that you love to hate, for, you know, as far as the atheists are concerned. So we have a lot of atheists that are always mocking Sye. And then we also have a lot of atheists like Matt Dillahunty, Alex Botten, and then some other YouTube atheists that just say that basically presup is only Sye's method, but there's actually different approaches to presuppositional apologetics. You have the classical Van Tillian approach, you have Botten's approach, you have John Frame's approach, and then of course Scott Oliphant, who actually I think is the person that understands Van Til's philosophy the best, that's still alive today. And all these guys who are all Van Tillian approach their apologetics differently than Sye does. But what the atheists do is they kind of lump presuppositional apologetics in the Sye's method, and then says that is all there is to presuppositional apologetics. But really, they don't even understand Sye's method. There's a theology behind the question that Sye is asking, and there are philosophical implications behind those questions. And I've seen atheists go out there and kind of parrot the same questions in order to mock them, and it's obvious that they don't really understand what Sye is trying to communicate to them. But you know, I'm not knocking Sye. I'm just saying there are different approaches out there. So I do find it interesting that for them, Sye has become the representative of presuppositional apologetics, and it just shows how mad Sye's apologetic has made atheists. I mean, some of them get driven. It seems like some of them are just obsessed with trying to refute what Sye does. I don't know about you, Len, but I think that's really interesting. That phenomenon is.
Yeah, and I think that it's one of those things where if they knew, like, I'm thankful that Sye gets all of the exposure that he gets, because he deserves it. He took an apologetic that is fairly complicated philosophically speaking for the average pew-dwelling Christian like myself, and brought it to street level and made it very practical. That's Sye's gift to the Christian world.
He's done a lot in that regard. I mean, and that shows that Sye is a very intelligent person to be able to condense such a complex philosophy into a method like that. Right. So I agree, and you know me, I'm Clarkian in my apologetics, so I have my disagreements with Sye on the way he approaches it. But nevertheless, so Sye has done a lot of good for the apologetic community, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're also correct in pointing out the many different streams of presuppositional apologetics. Not only that, but the many applications. If you've seen Dr. James White debate David Silverman. Right. And Dr. James White is a Van Tillian presuppositional apologist, and you would not think that he is employing Sye Ten Bruggenke's flavor or brand of presuppositional apologetics. So. Right.
And I had a friend that said, you know, he watched Sye, and he says, I don't understand, Jason, from what you told me about Van Tillian apologetics. That doesn't seem to be what Sye is doing. I told him, I said, well, why don't you go read Van Til and go read Bahnsen? And then he came back to me and said, you know what, I see what Sye is doing now. I see how it relates to Van Til's philosophy. So yeah, Sye really has simplified it. But if Sye's version of the apologetic is the only one you're familiar with, and you're not going to recognize people like James White as a presuppositionalist. Right. You're not going to be aware of Scott Oliphant's approach or John Frame's approach. You wouldn't be, of course, aware of Gordon Clark's approach or John Robbins' approach or Gary Cranton's approach. I can go on and on with a list of these presuppositionalists that use a differing approach from Sye. So when the atheists attempt to put all these apologists into the same can, so to speak, as far as their approach is concerned. Like the Sye Ten Atheist channel does, then it's just nothing more than just being, it's just deceptive. They're either ignorant or they're just misrepresenting, the presuppositionalist community, which of course is not, the latter would be dishonest.
Well, it's a simple attempt at an ad hominem attack to marginalize and silence your opposition, and the ad hominem is the dying gasp of a dead argument.
Right.
So all they're trying to do is to and anyone like myself or Colin Pearson who employs the method that Sye Ten does, then you're called a cyclone. Oh, you're just a cyclone.
Yeah, they're a clone of all the, when they use a problem of evil and all the other atheist arguments from the past, are clones of that. They're not parroting anybody. Oh no.
Right. Yeah, the Randroids calling us cyclones, I find highly ironic.
The kind of cyclones that come and wreck your worldview.
Yeah, exactly.
Play on words.
Right.
Let me go ahead and go over a little bit more of this so I can get to my point. So that being said, we have this YouTube channel called Sye Ten Atheist that mocks Sye and other presuppositionalists, and his mock Whaley and Craig too. So we have that channel, and I don't know who's behind it. I don't know if it's more than one person or not. But the channel's there. But I haven't really responded to the channel because it's just mockery. I would point out though that the channel does misrepresent presuppositional apologetics a lot. So I want to talk about the sequence of events regarding me calling out Alex Botten for being publicly dishonest. So on June 16th, Alex Botten made a video saying he was Sye Ten Atheist. You and Tim went on a hangout and said, and basically you guys expressed skepticism, say I don't really think he's Sye Ten Atheist. Right. And then I guess today Alex Botten posted a video saying, you know what, I'm not Sye Ten Atheist after all. So that really, Alex Botten was being dishonest. But in that second video, he said that what was causing it was the allegations that you and Tim and Colin were going to take the logos on those T-shirts and put them on those T-shirts and sell them for $100 each, which of course would be basically a donation unless you have a really nice T-shirt.
Yeah. We are not selling T-shirts. People don't.
Yeah, well, they don't. Like I said, people like Alex are going to take the least charitable interpretation of what you say and try and use it against you. That's just the nature of the way he deals with people. Right. That's of course not our problem. That's his problem. But that's the allegation. Because of that, all these atheists got together and said, "Oh well, let's all come out and say we're Sye Ten Atheists." I don't know what they really were trying to accomplish. That maybe at the very least they were just trying to confuse y'all. Maybe they had some other bigger ulterior motive. I don't know. But Alex Botten said in that second video, yeah, we were going to go out there and lie. He didn't say it this way, but basically what it implies is we're going to go out there and lie and say they're Sye Ten Atheists. Obviously, that was just to create confusion. So then Sye gets on. I mean, no, not Sye, but Alex Botten gets on the video and says I'm Sye Ten Atheist. Then 2 days later, he makes that video saying I'm not Sye Ten Atheist. So basically, Alex Botten lied. He deceived. He attempted to deceive you guys. You guys didn't fall for it, and he also deceived some of his followers that believed him when he said it.
Well, a lot of people weren't buying it though. When you look at the comment feed on that video, where it was called announcement. And now here's the interesting thing. I'm screen sharing now, and this video called announcement, he changed the title of to "Not True Sye," or "Not True I Am Not Sye." So he changed the title of that because shortly after this video came out, Tim and I did our hangout where we called him out, and a lot of people didn't see the sarcasm behind that. That's fine. So as we were doing our hangout, he made 2 other videos. He had this video called Secret that came out virtually identically of the same time that Tim's hangout published to his channel that we had done. Now, here's the thing. Alex is counting on the fact that people don't remember that when you do a Google Hangout, it plays live on your channel, and then it just a few minutes later, somewhere between 1 and 15 minutes after you're finished with it, depending on the length of your Hangout, sometimes it can be longer, it then publishes to your channel. So this Secret video came out virtually the exact same time that Hangout published to Tim's channel, which means while we were doing the Hangout, he realized what he had done and he made this video. And saying, and now what he's trying to say is that we saw this Secret video first and then we did our Hangout. Not true. It can't be, and we have video evidence of when the videos were released. We have, and that's something that Tim has. He'll probably make a video about that. And then shortly thereafter, he made this little video where he was actually recording us watching this video. So he was recording himself watching our Hangout. Now you can see we're a few minutes into it. You can tell by the where the progress bar is on the video as he's watching it. So all of the
your tracks.
What's that? Well, yeah, I mean, he's basically counting on the ignorance of his viewers. So, and then he mirrored our video, and he's got 742 views on it. Oh, good for him. He's lucky that Tim is charitable and doesn't just flag him down for that. Because if it were me, I would flag it down. But Tim doesn't flag videos. So
Alex has a habit of digging his own holes, so I say let him talk.
Yeah. So nonetheless, there's another thing. Whoops. Let me go back to my screen share here. There's another thing I want to share here too, because a lot of people have their knickers in a twist about copyright infringement and stealing intellectual property. Well, Sye Ten Atheist has contacted Tim several times. Now here's something from Facebook, from the Sye Ten Atheist Facebook page. Someone named Dwayne Davis shared this on June 16th, and he showed the status update saying, hey, accepting pre-orders now for the official BTWN t-shirt. Picture below is a graphic custom art made by an anonymous admirer/fan on the back. Front has a BTWN logo on the left pocket. Sale price $100. Now that should be the dead giveaway there, that anyone could sell a t-shirt for $100.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So what's interesting is look at Sye Ten Atheist's response here. He says, thanks, Sugar. I ain't got no beef with Timmy. I'm just thrilled to bits to learn he likes my pictures of him and his sexy little friends. So, yeah, right there, the proprietor of that channel, Sye Ten Atheist, is clearly not bothered by that. Furthermore, there's been private communication between Tim and the owner of the Sye Ten Atheist channel, who has offered high-resolution pictures so we can make higher-quality merchandise with them if we choose to. He said, feel free, let me know if you want it. So
that's kind of him too. If Tim has that private correspondence saved with Sye Ten Atheist permission, he might want to share it up there too. Hopefully, Sye Ten Atheist would not, for 1 second, endorse people like Alex Botten come out here and coming up with these falsehoods.
Well, whatever Tim chooses to do is fine. I think, I think that, the truth will come out about it. I'm not too worried about it.
Well, I'm not either. But my whole reason for this hangout believe it or not, considering how much we talk about other things, is to show that Alex Botten is not being truthful. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the point, I guess.
Dude, you're like saying saying Alex is dishonest is like saying water's wet. Nobody's surprised
I know.
by that statement.
This is such an obvious example. I just figured I'd jump on this one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start out by defining what lying is. Lying is intentionally putting forth a falsehood in an effort to deceive somebody. Lying is not believing something that is false. Lying is not teaching something that is false. Lying is not arguing for something that is false. Lying is not arguing for a position that the person that they are arguing against disagrees with. Lying is intentionally trying to deceive somebody. You can teach a falsehood without knowing that it's a falsehood. That's not lying. But people like Alex Botten go up and they use lying. They throw the term liar and lying, out like it's candy, on Mardi Gras or something. And and they throw it out there, but the definition of lying is that there has to be some sort of willful deception, some sort of willingness to deceive somebody. And I would hope that Alex Botten, who often claims that he operates on the basis of evidence, would provide evidence that someone is actually intentionally telling a falsehood at any point, whenever he's making these accusations. But he never does. He just accuses it and wants everybody to take his word for it, or maybe he's just trying to upset the Christian. Who knows? But really, though, the definition of lying that I gave fits exactly what Alex Botten and these other atheists are trying to do. Alex Botten came out and said he was Sye Ten Atheist, to try and throw you guys off, or maybe some other motive. Who knows? And that does fit the definition of lying. Yet Alex goes around and calls everybody a liar. He intentionally did it. He let it go on for a couple of days. And then I guess when he saw you guys talking, maybe he decided to go ahead and recant it, or maybe he just decided that the fun has run its course and he recanted. I don't know. But he made another video and said that he's not Sye after all. And he may point out, well, I mean, I corrected my mistake and I regret what I did, that kind of thing. And that's fine. If he's going to repent of that. But the fact is, though, is that Alex lied. He either lied when he said he was Sye Ten Atheist, or he lied when he said he wasn't Sye Ten Atheist. So either way you slice it, Alex Botten intentionally lied with the intent to deceive. Based off of that,
there's no question about that. I mean, but again, why are we surprised? We shouldn't be. I think that it's instructive to point out the hypocrisy of it, because everyone remembers back in Easter the G-Man false apostasy. And here's an interesting video. Am I still screen sharing here?
No, you're not.
Let me screen share this. Because here's Alex Botten's channel again, and with the G-Man false apostasy, here is Alex Botten, who made a video about it calling G-Man a liar when G-Man was claiming to be acting. And he made a follow-up video called R.I.P. Chocolate Atheist, which is actually a video he made before the G-Man liar video, where he was actually somewhat buying the lie. So it's just very interesting that, what G-Man's deception was just lying and wrong. And by the way, I affirm that. I agree with that completely. It was wrong what he did, but I think what it is it points out the hypocrisy of Alex Botten, which, again, we know Alex Botten isn't stable mentally right now. He's got some things happening in his life. So I want to be as charitable as possible about all of that. But, a couple of other things he did. He made videos today. Well, in the video he made 2 days ago, he admitted that he was trolling Tim. Okay, fine.
He's
don't complain about trolling.
Pages and say it's time to troll or something like that. Bob Sorensen has all kinds of pictures of his antics, including lying about Bob Sorensen not actually being married or something like that. Some lie about Bob's wife that's inappropriate. Right. So he's been known for those kind of antics, but was.
He made a video today admitting to being childish because people were saying things in his comment feed like, hey, this whole thing seems very childish and stuff, and he came out and he said, yeah, I am childish, so what? So he willingly admits to being a childish troll. Well,
yeah,
that's
and the guy, I think he's significant. I don't know how old he is, but I'm only 28. I think he's a bit older. So he needs to act. I like to act his age.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I deal with him, I feel like I'm dealing with some 12-year-old.
Yeah.
But in any event, though, I don't. My point is that despite all of his accusations about creationists and presuppositionalists being dishonest, Alex Botten has once again shown that he is dishonest. And this was just such, whenever he just comes out and recants something like that, just too good of an opportunity to pass up. Just another example of the fact that he's not honest and he's not charitable in his interpretations of what other people say, and he does so, and he does it intentionally. And it seems to me that Alex is okay with spreading falsehoods as long as it somehow harms Christianity, and that's the fact. So that's really all I wanted to say regarding Alex's dishonesty today. Unless you have anything else you want to add, Lynn.
No, not really. I think, I haven't really given a whole lot of thought to Alex Botten, and I haven't really paid attention to his channel too much until this, because honestly, it's, ever since, the rage quit and the rather abrupt and violent end of Fundamentally Flawed, it seems like Alex Botten's mental state has been on a steady and dangerous downward decline, and I think that probably the best thing that we can do is to just kind of back off, and pray for the guy, of course. We don't know what the Lord's doing with him. Still need to be praying for his repentance and everything, but
I guess
there's something not right there.
I guess you can call this video a call to Alex Botten to repent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's one of the, because the best way I can think of to show that someone needs to change is to show the folly.
Absolutely.
And that, and as Jesus said, don't you be judged by that standard, to paraphrase, and if you're going to judge someone, take the log out of your own eye before you take out the speck in the other person's eye. If you judge someone whenever you have the same sort of issues, then you're going to be judged by that standard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope everyone sees the spirit of this video, that we aren't mocking Alex, we're not making fun of him by any means. What we're doing is just exposing the truth. And
the folly behind what the approach that he's taken. Obviously, I care about Alex being rational in his discourse, and whenever he commits fallacies and makes logical errors, I'm going to point those out too. It's not because I hate the guy. I don't hate him. He doesn't really. Lately he hasn't really bothered me. He hasn't sent me any ugly messages or anything like that. So I don't really have any beef with him, except for the fact that he's preaching the false gospel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gospel of atheism, no hope.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
All right, so I guess that about does it for this. Is there anything else you want to add, Lynn?
No, sir.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off air then. And for all you guys that watch, appreciate it. And if you have any questions or if you want to challenge anything I said, I do have a link on the AnswersForHope.org website. You click on question and answer on the home page. It will take you to a form that you can fill out to ask me a question. I do try and answer all questions, either through email or on the website. Just be aware that I can't, I do get a lot of questions. I can't answer them all. I try to, but I always, sometimes it takes me a while to get them right, or maybe, it's a sort of question that that's just mockery, and I don't choose to respond to it. So that's one. But if you have if you want to challenge anything I said, just feel free to send a Q&A form through my website. So thanks for watching, guys.